enter the international business, first thing is what you are supposed to go with two things. One is import and export. Exporting refers to sending of goods from our country to another country, where importing means we are buying. Now Maruti Udyog was started by this Rajiv Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi. Now those brothers, they went to the joint venture with Haryana government. You can know what their technology is, as well as they can also know what your technology is all about. You'll only go like in a year twice or thrice or at least like 10 times, but the shipment happened 100 times. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Abhilash Chandra from the Department of Business Studies in Vidyashram PU College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to the next session here. In this session, we're going to learn something more about international business, that is the modes of entry into international business. The first one here you need to understand is we actually go with first exporting and importing. Second is contract manufacturing. Third is licensing and franchising. Many of you know what licensing and franchising is all about. Then we go with joint venture, and lastly is wholly owned subsidiaries. Now these are the entry modes which we are supposed to go with. Now the firstly you need to understand is internal business as well as international business. I have given you the difference between a domestic business and international business. If you have not watched, please do watch the second and third session where you will understand better, that is what is the difference between domestic business and international business. To enter the international business, first thing is what you are supposed to go with two things. One is import and export. Secondly, you are supposed to go with contract manufacturing, where you will be taking a contract, and then that is what the contract manufacturing is all about. The third is you are supposed to go with franchising and licensing. Now for this I have even explained in the third session where you are supposed to watch it and then come back. Now here franchising and licensing, if you understand, say there are many companies, that is a US company or Chinese company, many companies, they have come here and they are settled here. The reason here is what? They are not actually operating it. The Indians are operating it through a kind of thing, that is an agreement which has turned into a contract called franchising and licensing. Near your hometown, if you have KFC centers, now if you check, it is not the foreigners who are handling it, it is the Indians who are handling it. Now how can they handle a foreign country's product? Now that is what it is called franchising, as well as there are many of the places where you'll also get some of the showrooms like Nike, Puma, Reebok. Though it is not Indian company, it is from some other country, but still the Indians are going with those business. The reason is licensing. Next we have is joint venture. Say we have a joint venture of Suzuki and Maruti. That is how the Maruti Suzuki started. Now Maruti Udyog was started by this Rajiv Gandhi and Sanjay Gandhi. Now those brothers, they went to the joint venture with Haryana government, but later it failed due to some of their technical reason and people were not able to buy the product. The reason is because the taxation was more, and the way they started to produce the cars also, they were not up to the mark. But then Sanjay Gandhi's friend who was in Japan, now he consulted there and he said there is a company called Suzuki who really wants to come to India and they want to have a joint venture. Now Suzuki company, they couldn't come to India directly and they couldn't start any of the things directly with Suzuki name. Now they wanted somebody to be there who is associated, and then they wanted to go for it. Now Suzuki came to India and they started with a joint venture. The next one is wholly owned subsidiaries. That means there are so many companies where they have subsidiary companies. Now a foreign country will buy the entire subsidiary company and then they can actually have a partnership kind of a thing or a joint venture, or they can go with wholly owned subsidiaries also, and that is how the mode of international business starts. Now exporting and importing, please understand, exporting refers to sending of goods from our country to another country, where importing means we are buying from their country to our country, we are actually buying it. Now here what happens is, in a simple way, importing is purchase of foreign product and bringing them into the home country. That is what importing happens. So here also you can go with international business through importing and exporting. Next one, we go with the advantages here. Please understand, as compared to other mode of entry, exporting or importing is easiest way of gaining entry into international market. It is less complex an activity than setting up and managing joint ventures or wholly owned subsidiary abroad. So what is the advantage here is you can actually go with more and more product, and you can actually gain more customers here. And one more thing is you can know what their technology is, as well as they can also know what your technology is all about. One more is when you go with exporting or importing, is less involved in sense of business firms are not required to invest that much time and money as it needs. Now here what happens is when they go with the kind of joint venture or set up manufacturing plant and facilitate in the host country, they don't need to actually invest more time. The reason is they can have people and they can only see that. Now example, KFC. Now KFC people who started it, the person called David Harlan Sanders, now he did not even know that his product or his company will actually be a global kind of a company. Now he started to give it to franchisee. Now even people in say Karnataka or Mysore, you have KFC where other people will actually take care of it. So the host country or the country where it was started, they don't want to, or they don't even need to invest more time. So that is what one more advantages you can actually get. Since exporting and importing does not require much of investment in foreign countries, exposure of foreign investment risk is nil or much lower than the present when firms opt for other modes of entry into international business. Now here what exactly happens is the exporting and importing does not require much of investment in foreign countries. The reason is exposure to foreign investment risk is nil. That is, you don't have a foreign investment risk. That is what it is. So limitations we are supposed to also check, that is, since the goods physically move from one country to another, what happens is you are supposed to give more investment. You are supposed to go with more of your money through packaging, labeling, setting them insurance, all those things are there. So that is where you will actually need to focus, and expenses from your side is more because of all these things. That is, since the goods physically move from one country to another, exporting, importing involves additional packaging, transportation and insurance costs. So that is what it is. Now in internal trade, what used to happen is whatever the product you will manufacture, you will actually pack it, label it, and then you will sell it. But here what happens is you are supposed to pack it, label it, make sure that the product is safe, then you are supposed to take an insurance, you are supposed to go with transportation. Now in internal business, what used to happen is rail was the cheapest transportation what you could have afford for. But here when you go with international business, you are supposed to go with shipping, as well as you are supposed to go with flight. Now flight is very expensive, and you people know it. That is how the perishable goods, they cannot go from the shipping. The reason is it will actually perish very fast. One more limitation is exporting is not a flexible option when import restrictions exist. That means when there are few countries where import restriction is more, then exporting is not feasible option at all in a foreign country. In such a situation, firm have no alternative but to opt for other entry modes such as licensing and franchising or joint venture, which makes it feasible to make the product available by way of producing and marketing it locally in foreign countries. So here what happens is when you don't have a problem, so no issues, you don't have any kind of a investment risk involved. But if there are few countries where exporting and the importing there is a restriction, then what happens is you are supposed to go for licensing and franchising. When you go for licensing and franchising, money is involved more. That is, cost will be more for you. Or you are supposed to actually go with what a joint venture, or you are supposed to go with a subsidiary. That is, you need to own wholly a subsidiary kind of a company, and then you can start your business. But here more time is consumed, investment is more, you are supposed to hire more people, you are supposed to know the law of the land. All these things are there which you are supposed to go. That is where the drawbacks will be. And one more limitation is export firm basically operates from their home country. That is what it is. They operate from home country. They produce in home country and then ship the goods to foreign countries. That is what it is. Except a few visit made by the executives of export firm to the foreign countries to promote their product, the export firm in general do not have much contact with the foreign market. So here there is a huge drawback. That is, say example, we are in India and we are exporting the product to USA. Now say we are exporting some of the product which are, say, kind of flowers. We are exporting to USA. The people whoever are producing and they are actually maintaining this flowers and they want to export it. Now first thing is they are supposed to go with packaging, labeling, then transportation charges is there, then there are so many insurance charges, all those charges for the shipping, right? The shipment you are supposed to do, the cargo insurance you are supposed to take, freight insurance you are supposed to take, then you will go with it. But you will not go every time whenever the shipment happens. You'll only go like in a year twice or thrice or at least like 10 times, but the shipment happens 100 times. So here what happens is you don't know what the real market is. You'll only get to know about the market once or twice when you go and visit. So here what happens is you will not get a clarity. When there is no clarity, you will not get a clarity here. Now when there is no clarity, you will not know what is happening in the real market or real situation. This is what the demerit of international business is. So if you understand this properly here, students, you will get to know that the limitations are there as well as advantages are also there with you. But what I suggest is, more than seeing the limitation, you should always go for the optimistic use of your business. International business is a very good idea. If you really want to start any of the kind of a thing in international business, you are supposed to first check which country you are supposed to go with the business, and then I'll tell you here, you need to understand the country whether the product is in demand or not, and you are supposed to check whether you can afford for all these transportation, insurance, import and export charges, everything. And then if you feel that still you can make profit, then I always suggest you people to go for an international business. If not, then internal business would be the second option. Thank you so much. If you have any doubt regarding this, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much.